Hi everybody, the next presentation is from myself. So we don't need another introduction, but going to have 20-25 minutes now talking a little bit more about NBS and connecting construction information. So my name's Stephen Hamil, I'm Innovation Director at NBS, and as Russell says, this year is our 50th birthday. 1973, NBS was first published, the imagery on the left-hand side there, and it was literally 4 books written by 2 or 3 architects that the Royal Institute of British Architects put together. And what we've tried to do over those 50 years is continue to innovate. Whatever the latest technologies, try to jump on those and make it better for our customers, from the first word processing disks. I hear a story from the chap that wrote the first NBS software, Professor Steve Lockley, that it was the first construction software in the UK on a Windows 3 machine. Maybe, I'm not sure, but that's what he says. Then the evolvement of the internet to where we are now, NBS with the NBS Chorus and the NBS Source platform sort of fully in the cloud. I've not been here 50 years, but I've almost been here 25 years, part of the original Newcastle University team that wrote the original NBS software. And across NBS, my colleagues here today, we want to talk to our customers. We want to talk to the manufacturers, the engineers, the architects, and ask, so how can we make the products sort of even better? So a lot of it is focus groups, do a lot of it online now, discussion forums, and we take that back, we look at what's happening in the industry, what the technology is available, and then we get the pleasure to say, look, these are the latest developments that we've been doing for our customers, and we'll look a little bit at those today. But today's presentation will start off just having a little look at how we try and help you meet today's challenges. Then we'll have a look at some of the recent developments from NBS on both the specification side and the manufacturer information side. And then we'll finish just having a little look at future plans. So today's challenges, I've sort of tried to go on a theme with the letter C. We've got 3 here, but the first one we've heard about it strongly. I think Russell mentioned collaboration, and then Dame Judith came on and said, I'm not seeing much collaboration. So yeah, the word collaboration, and just one story from NBS here is when we released Chorus online specification, it tied in with COVID happening and everybody having to work from home, from their bedrooms, from their home offices, and it wasn't possible to get into the office and work on the desktop machines. And that was the biggest test we could have. We just released the software and everybody had to use it because they couldn't sit with their colleagues. But that sort of forced the collaboration around that single source of truth. And you saw specifiers working together. And very slowly it became not just the specifiers in one organization, but external consultants as well, acoustic consultants, fire consultants, and then the larger construction manufacturers that did big systems, like paint systems, roof systems, door set systems, coming in and working together collaboratively on that online platform. The second C, coordination. And the stories you hear is somebody in the corner on the typewriter writing the specification. It's whoever, Jim in the corner, he writes the specs, and everybody else putting the drawings together in the CAD systems, etc. We're trying to break down those silos so the information that gets put in the specification gets synchronized and coordinated with the annotations in the drawings, the information in the schedules, the information encapsulated in those sort of digital objects. And the third one, compliance. We've heard for the last couple of hours about the new building safety regime. In addition to that, we're going to hear about how clients are asking for more evidence, how planners are asking for more evidence in terms of sustainable outcomes. And the only way you can do that is by having robust documentation that proves that what you're going to build or what you have built has complied. And you see that across university estates. You see that big companies now having to do their ESG reports that are on the stock market, and you see it with things like the London plan for more complex buildings. So meeting today's challenges. So what about recent developments at NBS? Again, we're going to go up in threes, but what we're going to first do is just show 3 developments in Chorus our specification writing platform. The first one we're going to look at is searching, then publishing, and then model integration. So searching, we've just got a little software sequence here, which is going to split into two parts. The first part is in all of the Chorus editions, and it's about searching your project specification. The second part is going to be in our advanced spec writing bundle, which allows you to search every specification your practice has ever written. So it's not just the ones that I'm involved with or the Newcastle office, but across all of your practice, give me that information. So we just look on the screen here. The search is happening. I'm searching for the phrase B roof. Click the button, and it's going through that entire specification, showing where their specifications for roof coverings to the B roof standard. And you can jump through that and have that information at your fingertips. The second sequence here, I've just searched for the word inspection. And again, instantly, 1920 search returns come back, pinpointing the clauses where you've put that search in. Now, on the top right-hand side of the screen, this is the practice-wide search. So if you put a search term in the top right, that's going to go across all of the project specifications, all of your office masters, across the entire practice. So that question, where have we specified that product before, you can now answer that in the click of a fingers, as opposed to going through boxes of paper and X drive locations. So toggling there between the specifications that I've previously written and the masters. So searching, been a big initiative from NBS this year, and we're putting your information at your fingertips. The second thing I'd like to look at is publishing. And this is huge in terms of what we talked about, in terms of the evidence of Gateway 2 and Golden Thread and what's changed in terms of specification decisions. So what we're seeing here is, I'm going to do a publication, 2 or 3 wall systems coming together, you're generating, like this is the issued specification. What I'm doing here is comparing that to the previous package for the wall systems. And I'm ticking this box at the top left to say, don't just show me which clauses have changed, but show me how they've changed. And when that publication comes out, and I appreciate people get the naming convention right, it's revision 2, and this is the naming convention. Has it been issued as a sort of recorded change or a notifiable change or a major change? But once that publication happens, being able to see exactly how the specification has changed. Has the product been substituted? What has it been substituted to? I think the wording that was used is it equivalent or higher? Because if it's dropped the specification and that's the evidence that's been submitted, then it could be potentially a big conversation and a delay with the building safety regulator. So getting publications and change control as tight as possible, down to the level of each individual clause item, not just bubbles drawn on a drawing, but this is how the specification has changed. And then the final sequence from Chorus here is around that coordination theme. So people say, yeah, we like the plugin you've got with AutoCAD, we like the plugin you've got with Revit, but we want to put more information from the specification on those drawings. We want to put the spec notes on, the manufacturer name, the product reference, and not have that clash between model and specification. So we just watch this sequence here. The specifier or the designers going through and linking the objects in the 3D model with the corresponding specification clauses. And I've gone a little bit over the top there with the annotation callouts, but it's not just the classification, the title, the suffixes being used. It's the spec note, summarizes the specification. It's the manufacturer name. It's the product reference. And that information is being shared with those 3D objects, so it can be used in schedules, it can be used in annotations. And because that's there synchronized with the 3D model, when you export it for the next person down the line, the main contractor, the subcontractor, the cost consultant, you'll be able to actually view that in sort of any tool. As long as you export using IFC, on the screen here is a Celebri model viewer, and that's a consistent property set from NBS with the specification clause, the suffix, the manufacturer name, the model reference, the spec notes, and a hyperlink that goes back to the manufacturer product. So further down the line, you're using rich information. And just like we've modelled standards through our CIS joint venture over the years, we're modelling this manufacturer information at the point it was published. So 5 years, 10 years down the line, those hyperlinks will say, this is what was being said at that point in time. So that covers the 3 sequences for NBS Chorus on the specification side. Now we're going to jump across and have a look at NBS Source. So NBS Source, hopefully everyone's aware of what it is, but that's our manufacturer product platform, a combination of the sort of good old days of the RIBA, product selector, book, NBS Plus, National BIM Library, all coming together as one online modern product directory. And we're going to look at 3 things here as well. The first is spec filters. So quite often, there's lots and lots of manufacturer products that might meet your need. We're now allowing you to filter those products down to meet the specification that you want in that project, in that context. So this sequence here, it's a little bit similar to Rightmove, Auto Trader. You search for something, in this case, a clear brick. You get 410 results. And you've got to think which clear brick is right for this context, this project. And on the left-hand side, we've got the NBS specification sort of data structure. So it's really technical. It aligns with the language used in the standard, the enumerated values, the units that are in the standard. And you can go from 400 clear bricks, talking about things like compressive strength or durability or tolerance, the language used in the standards that define that particular product, and find the product that's right for you on that project. And if you're a little bit unsure, we have the comparison option as well. So you can say, I'm interested in brick 1 and brick 2 and brick 3, potentially from different manufacturers, get them on the screen and look at that technical content. So at the top there, you've got the third-party certification, if they have it, and then going through those technical characteristics. And it ends with the specification. Click the button and take it from NBS Source and drop it straight into NBS Chorus. So we're sitting there, I think Russell's slide had specification on the left, manufacturers on the right, sitting there joining both of those communities together. And the second example here is very similar, but instead of that sort of technical spec for the filters, it's the key sustainability technical characteristics. So we've looked at like what's common across the board. We've looked at things like EPD certification, things like where the product comes from, its embodied carbon, its recycled content. Does it have redless materials? But you'll see a very similar example here. This time I'm not searching for bricks. I think I'm searching for carpet tiles. And once you've done that search, 450 pile carpet tiles, on the left-hand side, you can go to the sustainability filters and say, look, I want a manufacturer that's, a product that's been manufactured in the UK. I'd like to have a product that's got no redless materials inside it. And for the numeric values, percentage of recycled content, amount of embodied carbon as defined, A1, A3 in the EPD certificate, you can use those slider controls. A bit like booking a holiday on TUI, my budget's this, and your holiday numbers drop. You're saying, like the products I want, it must have at least 60% recycled content or maximum 10 kilograms equivalent carbon dioxide. There in the comparison again, you can combine it, spec filter and sustainability filter, compare the different products available, and then when you find the product that's right for you, click the button again, and you drop that product, latest version of the product, verified by the manufacturer, straight into the specification. So copies to the clipboard, jump across to NBS Chorus and drop that product in there. And then the last thing here, just about insights. So we talked about an architectural practice, having the insight to look across all of your specifications. If you take that up a level, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of specifications. We can aggregate that and say to manufacturers, these are the trends, this is the insight in the industry. And Russell mentioned the connection with Glenigan. Just as 2 little examples here, across all of NBS, you can compare what are the trends between aluminium windows getting specified and wood windows getting specified. And you see there on aluminium windows, it's high in the education, in the healthcare sectors, quite a lot of new builds. jump across to the wood windows, and you've got education and healthcare dropping back, residential and conservation projects coming up, and that big swing to work to existing. That's the tip of the iceberg. And I'd say to any manufacturer in the audience today, please at lunchtime go and speak to my colleagues, speak to the Glenigan team and see what's possible in terms of that aggregated information. And it's not just there as a marketing tool or a tool to get the technical information right. It's a real business development tool there as well. And how do we help you get the best out of NBS? I think there's lots of free online resource, the online support, but we have an excellent, really excellent training team as well. We've got Nick here today from the training team. Can't see his hand in the air, but we group the training. He's got a bronze level, silver level, gold level training in NBS Chorus. Also specialised training in how to get the best out of the model integration side as well. And everything's public in terms of what we do. So we've delivered 115 courses this year. All of the feedback we get, the marks out of 10 are there on our website, and I never see anything other than fantastic comments about the training, whether that's delivered online in terms of Teams or whether it's somebody coming into the office and getting everybody round the table to talk about how to get the best out of specification. And going one step further, we had Mark there, my colleague Mark from the NBS Schumann team. We can now offer that support on the specification writing side as well. So whether it's a review of your Office Masters, a review of a previous spec, all the way to the spec writing duties on the most complex of projects, we've got the NBS Schumann team. We've also got Nick here in the audience, who the Schumann name from 30, 35 years ago, all the way back to sort of Davis Langdon days. And it's fantastic to have the Schumann business now as part of NBS. Major projects in 4 different, like Southeast Asia, Middle East, UK, North America. And that's just in the last sort of nine months. 2 on the screen here, one London with big Fleet Street, and I think it's the Makers District, one of the plots in Dubai, working with Woods Bagot. And I'm constantly asking for updates on Mark, how it's going and things, but we can give support all the way to the sort of spec writing level now as well. So finally, sort of future plans, what we'd like you to cover. We've got lots of NBS staff today. This is the NBS sort of tech bar on the right-hand side. It'd be great if you can come across and speak to us about anything you've seen that I've presented today. But future plans, I think the first thing is this is coming next month. I'm pretty confident it's going to be a November release. But the advanced, David, the product owner, has given me a thumbs up. The advanced spec writer bundle, that's got the practice-wide search in. It's got the detailed revisions. And not shown today, but we show you the tech bar, the ability to have variables. So you can have a bit of text that you want to use again and again and again across the spec, maybe change halfway through. You can set those at project level or practice level as well. Advanced spec writer bundle. And we've got more planned for next year in terms of those bundles as well. And then Russell touched on this a little bit earlier. We're hoping to have this ready this side of Christmas. We'll see, but early stage specification. And this has been something that's been asked for a number of years. So I don't want to just write the spec at the end, sort of stage 4. I want to start that specification when I'm thinking of the elements that define the spaces, the walls, the floors, the ceilings, the roofs, the functions like heating and cooling and security. So we're developing an early stage specification library so you can start your specification at concept design. When you're getting the brief from the client, when you're fixing those performance requirements at the sort of level of an element, you know the fire performance, you know the acoustic performance, you know the thermal performance. And there's hundreds of different ways you can meet that by putting different systems together. It could be cladding system, it could be masonry wall leaf or what have you. But fix those performance requirements so then when you do choose that solution, in this case, rain screen cladding, masonry wall, lining and casing, that you can cross-reference that the systems that you specify meet the original requirements at the element level. And one thing that's fantastic that goes with this library of content is the work we're doing with our partners. BCIS. So BCIS, originally part of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, they're giving us a feed of cost information. So comparatively, how much does this system cost to build versus this system? Operational cost information, because it's not just about the capital cost, it's about the operational duration, and working with the data they've been working very hard on, the BECD, the Built Environment Carbon Data, comparative costs on embodied carbon as well. And that's the biggest time to make an influence on cost, whether it's environmental cost or financial cost, at that early stage, before the detailed specifications are made. And so a true collaboration between NBS and BCIS, two of the sort of main information providers to UK construction industry. So really excited about that one, coming very soon. Designer licenses was released a little bit earlier, but getting away from just one person in the office writing the NBS specification or one person on a project. But we got cost-effective licenses so that all of the design team can have access to NBS. So they might be working in a tool like Revit, not editing the spec, but needing to see it, needing to read the guidance, needing to click and look at the standards. So designer licenses allowing the whole project team to access that rich NBS information. I think there's 10,000 pages, double-side, 8 points of guidance in NBS on how to make the right decisions. We want to share that information with the entire project team and not just those writing the spec. So to speak about designer licenses, again, speak to either myself or my colleagues at the Tech Bar. And then the final development coming soon, one of our most successful joint ventures is the RIBA CPD, where you can learn about topics quite often provided by manufacturers, and we're integrating RIBA CPD with Source. So that's the single point where you can search for everything, and working with RIBA to redevelop the RIBA CPD website so that you can discover products, you can discover learning about a particular topic, and then eventually think of, okay, what's this system, what's the product that can help me achieve those outcomes on my project. So just to summarize, there's a lot of challenges out there today. We've got to collaborate better, we've got to coordinate information better, and we've got to make sure that what we do complies. And we try back in the office at NBS to listen what your requirements are, keep developing our content, keep developing our software, and then making things better and better. And I hope we do that, and we will continue to do that. And I look forward to meeting as many people as possible at lunchtime, at the break times, and I'll be the last one here today until there's no more sort of discussions to be had over a beer at the end of the day. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.